Hey, hello, and welcome to this weather update on November 15th, 2019. It's about 7:30, and depending on where you were, you had some blue sky today. Here's a look at the satellite image. You could see these clouds from this coastal storm that's developing here. However, over Long Island, we had some periods of clear skies, so we were fortunate. Here is the cold front here that's coming down and going to actually suppress these clouds a little more tomorrow night. And behind this front is much colder air. You could see here this beautiful air that we should be getting into tomorrow. Today was a little on the mild side, of course. So we're going to take a look and see what the temperatures were across our area today. Right now at Central Park, it's 48. So let's see what Farmingdale is. It's 44. So let's see what Farmingdale wound up hitting today. 51. Still a little below average, believe it or not, I think. So, yeah, still a little below average. I'm sure it was warmer in New Jersey. I'm curious to see how much warmer it is in New Jersey. So, wow, it's down to 31 at Miller Air Park. So that's interesting. So it's still getting some radiational cooling down there. They hit 54, so they were warmer. And we'll go ahead and look at West Hampton and see if they've dropped off to as much or not. Let's see, 30 as well. So 24 is the dew point. That's because you have dry air. Dew point's still low. So we have this that we got to worry about here: enhanced risk of fire spread with the gusty winds and low humidity. So yeah, we haven't had any rain in a little while, so the ground's kind of dry. So we'll have to, be concerned about that. It's just minor, but you have to be on the lookout for that. We also have coastal flood watch in effect for the Jersey Shore, and that's because of that northeast wind I was talking about in the last weather update that we're going to be dealing with. So here is a look at the MODIS satellite, and you can see this was the story much of the day. The cloud bank was just off to the south and east, and Long Island. At times, the cirrus was close enough to filter the sun, and then as the day went on, we got a little more of it roll in on us. So let's take a look at the models and see what's going to be happening as this weather pattern evolves. So here's this big high that's going to come in and push this coastal low to the south, a coastal low tropical hybrid type of storm. This thing gets it down to 993. It's a very intense storm. That high continues to just sit over us and protect us for the weekend. It looks like it'll protect us for the entire weekend, but then it moves away and then it moves up the coast, but it moves offshore of the coast, so it doesn't actually make a landfall, but the Cape could get into it, some heavy stuff, and so could Nova Scotia. This is going to be a pretty potent storm, as you can see. Look at how low. It gets it down to 991 millibars, and this, of course, is the GFS, of course. Then once that moves away, we have a weaker high pressure build in for later in the week, but as this low kind of just slowly moves by, we could have a chance of showers Monday into Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday we should have some drier weather, and then we have a more chance of that looks interesting. So next Sunday has another potent storm, coastal low developing there, and just to our north and west, snow. Of course, that's over a week away, but still, it's what's happening is what we're seeing here, and here's another, looks like another cold air mass. What we're seeing here is what you call a negative NAO. So when you have this type of setup, a trof, so it is favoring below normal temperatures in the east and also coastal storm activity as well. So there could be some chances for some snow in here, especially probably more north and west of the area, but you never know. So we can look at the temperature anomaly too, so you can get an idea of where the cold is. So let me back this up to today. So you can see we're close to average today, but you can see what's coming. The west is above average with the ridge. I mean, you can see what's happening here. We get this cold shot from eastern Canada tomorrow, which means highs will only be in the upper 30s, well below normal. Moderate towards Sunday, but then we're back a little bit below normal on Tuesday. And we're still staying consistently below normal. Maybe we get a little bit of a wave of above normal weather on Friday for the next bout of below normal. And look at that. There's more below normal for next Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on this for sure. Active pattern and a good pattern for the winter if you like cold weather and if you like snow. So this is a good pattern to have. You want to have that ridge in the west and the trough in the east. That's what you want. And so far, I like the way it's looking. So let's go and take a closer look at what our temperatures will be doing over the next couple of days. So as we go into tomorrow, here comes that front, that cold front. And there you go. We're only highs. Only once that front comes through later tonight, temperature's going to drop probably into the low 30s, and then for tomorrow, it's going to be only in the mid to upper 30s. Maybe a little warmer in Jersey, maybe closer to 40 there. For Sunday, we see temperature still cold because we're still getting that northeast flow. It's going to be pretty raw too with that northeast flow. You can see here's that storm and all the warm air associated with that. You can see it move by to the south and the east, but we consistently stay below normal is the trend here. And as we go into next Sunday, you see that's the next storm, and look behind the storm there. There's some cold air, so you have precipitation here. That could be snow. So if we go all the way out to the end here, you see that we have some more cold air outbreaks. Here's another one, November 25th on Monday. Look at Tuesday, only 34, 36 for one. So it's going to stay consistently below normal as we head into the month of December. And there's going to be some more Arctic air coming with 30s again. So we're going to be below normal and much below normal. So we got a nice little trough in the east we can enjoy for sure. So yeah, let's just have a little fun and use total snowfall and go all the way to the end and see if it gives us anything. It doesn't really give the coast anything. Just inland, north and west, they could be getting a foot of snow. Look at how much they're getting up here in Maine and in the lakes. So the interior northeast could really be looking at a lot of snow. I'm sure the ski resorts are going to really do well with this. So let's take a look at the clouds, the cloud situation as we head into the weekend. So this is again the 18Z GFS. So you can see the cirrus over us gets pushed down tomorrow, and you can see Long Island is in the clear, and maybe even Jersey can get away with being in the clear, but I think Long Island would probably be better off than New Jersey. It'll be a nice day to go to the Pine Barrens, but it's not going to be easy because we have this nonsense again with the shutdown of the main line. I'm not going to rant about it too much, but I'll put the graphic up. You could see we're not getting shuttle buses. We're not getting connecting bus service, so you have to depend on Nice Bus to get to Hicksville to get out east, which absolutely sucks. I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face. It doesn't seem like anything is going to change at the MTA. Just have to adapt. It's not going to be easy. But anyway, and then the clouds kind of roll back in on us Sunday, and we got some more clouds around. Beyond the outer periphery of this, we'll have to see if we get into any precipitation, which we'll look at later. And more clouds for Monday, Tuesday. We're going to be dealing with some unsettled weather. Maybe into Wednesday, and maybe Thursday we can clear it on out. But it looks kind of unsettled this week. It really does. And I'm not really going to go much beyond that. We can do this for fun. Monday, see plenty of clouds. Tuesday, plenty of clouds. Feels like maybe Wednesday we get out of it, But it will be below normal. That's the main thing. So let's go and look at the clouds for the NAM. So we're going to look at the clouds for the NAM. Wow, look at that. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start over here. So here we are, Saturday. That cold front comes through, pushes the cirrus to the south. Could still be close enough to give New Jersey problems. And the NAM seems to want to back it up a little bit and throw a little bit of it at us. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. I have my doubts of that. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We can have a clear day. But you can see it's definitely more of an issue for New Jersey, maybe extreme eastern Long Island, but we stay mostly clear. And then the cirrus comes in on us. And look at that. Look at that circulation. Isn't that impressive? That is impressive right there. So let's go and look at the precipitation now. See if we can get if any of that precipitation gets in here as we head. And we're looking at the NAM. You can see. Look at that. Look at the heavy precipitation. It's almost reminiscent of a tropical system to some extent. It looks like some of it gets to the Jersey Shore Sunday afternoon, and then maybe Sunday evening. Some of it could get into Long Island too. So there you go. Look at the center of this thing. It looks like, does that have a 963 there? Or is that 983? Or is that 950? I can't even say. I think it's 963. That's really low. That is really low. So this is a storm we're going to have to watch for sure we're going to have to watch. Let's look at the winds. Let's look at the wind speeds on this. Let's see what the wind speeds are. Oh my gosh, look at this. So here we are in the wee hours of Monday morning, and this thing looks tropical. And look at the wind speeds on the east side of this. Sustained winds 50 to 60 at 56 knots. That's a lot. And look at what's going on just offshore of our waters. So Jersey Shore is going to get pounded. There's going to be a lot of flooding on the Jersey Shore, probably Sunday. And even Long Island, the South Shore, East End, we could be seeing some effects too from that. That is insane. This is really unusual. So let me go look at the GFS. Let's see what the GFS has. So here's the GFS. Not nearly as intense, but the GFS sometimes really is not good with coastal storms. It always seems to underestimate them. We'll definitely be looking at windy.com and the Euro. Let me go and look at the precipitation. You'll see if the GFS. And the GFS seems to want to keep a lot more of it to the south and only give us light precipitation Monday and maybe Tuesday, whereas the NAM gives us a lot more. So it seems to be, we'll have a better idea tomorrow night exactly what's going to happen, but there's the chance of rain. I think the NAM may be a little too aggressive in bringing that rain in. If you go and you look at the total accumulated precip on the GFS, it's only giving Long Island maybe a quarter of an inch, some heavier stuff to the south. But if we look at the NAM, it's probably going to look a lot different. Yeah, a lot different. Look at that. So the NAM gives us over an inch of rain. And look at some of these rainfall amounts are in the center. We're talking 10 inches or more of rain falling offshore. And maybe even into the Cape a little bit. That is crazy. That is insane. So we can look at the 12-kilometer NAM too. You get the idea. The NAM is a lot wetter with this storm. It's a lot bigger and wetter than the GFS is with this storm. And this is something we're going to have to watch, obviously. So let me go to windy.com now. We'll do that. Windy.com. And we'll go ahead and look at the European model and see how it handles this storm, because this is going to be the main weather feature we're going to have to deal with after tomorrow, obviously. So first we'll start off with the clouds and see how the Euro does as far as the clouds go. So here we are, 8 a.m. Saturday. You can see the clouds have been pushed off to the south by this cold front. We're sitting around freezing on Long Island, maybe even a little below freezing, above freezing in New Jersey. Let's go look at 12 noon. So here we are. Long Island's still in the clear. The clouds are just to the south. It's literally just to the south of Long Island, so it looks like Tom's River will probably be right over. You got to remember, the clouds will probably be taking up half the sky over here, which means there will be filtered sunshine in these areas, like South Jersey and on the Jersey Shore, and maybe in parts of the East End. But hopefully Long Island can eke out a clear day. Let's go ahead and move this to 3. So by 3, it starts rolling in on us. By 7, it really starts rolling in on us. And the Euro seems to have that cloud roll into. Like the Euro and the NAM seems to be a lot less suppressed. And those are better models to use. So as we get into, you can see tons of clouds. So now let's go and look at the precipitation. And let's see what's going to be happening with that. So here we are, precipitation, looking at Sunday, 6 p.m. Euro keeps the precipitation a little more away from us. It keeps the heaviest stuff away from us. So every model is a little different, but Euro does seem to keep the heaviest precipitation away from our area. And that's what I'm thinking too, is that the heaviest precipitation stays away. But if you were to look down here, you will see, if we pull this out a little bit, look at some of this. So this is Saturday, tomorrow, 11 a.m., and look at this. Some of these precipitation rates here. You have 2.32 inches an hour. Actually, in 3 hours, it says 2.3. So this is some heavy rain. And thunder, too, being forecast, too. Again, this is insanity. So, again, this has some kind of tropical appearance to it. It really does. It's going to be one of those weird hybrid storms that we've been seeing a lot of those lately. Got to remember, the water temperatures are probably still above average. So let's look at the wind speeds now. And look at this monster again. So we're going to start off looking tomorrow afternoon. You can see the Cape here, 50 mile an hour sustained wind. Oh my God. This is tomorrow afternoon. It's insane. This is insane. If you're off the Delmarva, you're going to be having a sustained wind northeast of 35. No, that's not what I want to do. What about Long Island, south of Long Island, northeast of 27? So this is south of Long Island. Over the water, the winds are going to be strong. And then we pull this into tomorrow night. This thing's probably going to pick up some strength. There you go. There's tomorrow night. All right. Look at those purples. And the field of purples expands. Look at some of these areas along the Cape. They're going to be dealing with northeast winds at 48 miles an hour. Now, all this is going to help pile the water up on the shores. There's going to be a lot of coastal flooding. I'm telling you that right now. Beach erosion, coastal flooding. This thing isn't in a hurry either. You can see here, northeast wind 47. Northeast wind 46. Northeast wind 46. 45. So here we are, Sunday at 10 p.m. Look at the circulation on this thing. I mean, it looks like it has an eye. Let's go into Monday now, 7 a.m. It's making a close approach to us now. East of Montauk, you got northeast winds at 37. These are sustained winds. These aren't gusts. All right, and over Long Island itself, the worst of the winds shouldn't be over the island, but we're gonna have to see what happens as this event gets closer. North wind to 20. All right. So here is what we are dealing with here. And look at this monster here over the Atlantic. Let me move this to 1 p.m. or noon. It starts pulling away by then. But look, some of those heavy winds come over Long Island and the Cape especially. This is going to affect the whole East Coast here with coastal flooding. So this thing's going to be a monster. But wait, we got to go back to 10 a.m. and look at the gusts now. So let's look at the wind gusts on this. Oh, boy. All right, so these are the wind gusts 10 a.m. Saturday on the Euro. Look at the 76 mile an hour gusts are off the Cape. You're talking hurricane force here. It's crazy. Off the Delmarva, 52 mile an hour gusts. This is insane. Off Long Island South Shore, 44 mile an hour gusts. And even on Long Island itself, we're gonna have gusts to 36. It's going to be windy tomorrow, and with that cold air, it's going to feel cold. Wind chills will probably be down into the low 20s. Here we go for tomorrow afternoon as this thing starts making its way in. And look at some of these wind gusts. 73, even if you go inland, 61 mile an hour gusts. Eastern North Carolina is going to get raked here. 8 p.m. Look at this thing is barely moving too, because you got to remember the high is kind of squeezing it down a little bit. 65, 45, 28. Here we go. And here is, see how slowly it's moving too? So these are 80 mile an hour. 80 mile an hour gusts. That's crazy. 3 a.m. Look at this thing. Here we are at 3 a.m. 9 a.m. I mean, this thing looks wrapped up like a hurricane. All right. This is what the Cape's going to be dealing with. The Cape is going to get hammered. It's going to be like a hurricane hit the Cape. I'm telling you. It's going to be bad news. 46 mile an hour wind gusts offshore of Long Island. This is Sunday morning. 36, so I think it gets worse. Let's go to 4 p.m. Look at these stronger gusts now getting closer. So everything you see here in the purples is just insane. 76 mile an hour gusts. Oh my gosh. This is going to help pile the water up. Look at this thing. Here is 10 p.m. We are damn lucky that this thing is tracking offshore for us, but I feel bad for everybody in the Cape. And even though it's tracking offshore, there's going to be a lot of coastal flooding. 41 mile an hour gusts. The Jersey Shore, 40. All right, that's not too bad. Let's go to 1 a.m. So luckily, the worst of it, the Euro keeps the worst of it just east of Long Island, but it could brush us, I think, like I said, overnight, Sunday, late Sunday night into Monday morning. We're going to get some of these stronger wind gusts offshore here, 41. And again, you don't have to go too far offshore until you get wind gusts to the 50s. So there's definitely be small craft advisories and things like that. This storm is a monster. It is a monster. Let me tell you, it is a monster. Oh, and the waves. Let's see what kind of waves this thing's going to kick up. Oh, look at this. So let me back it up again to Sunday. Actually, Saturday. We'll back it up to Saturday here. And you can look at some of these waves here. 19 footers. And we move it into Sunday here. Look at this, 24 footers in the middle of the ocean. And even off the South Shore, you're going to be having 13-foot waves, 14-foot waves. Oh, boy. 15-foot waves. Oh, my God. 14. This is nuts. This is nuts, this storm. This storm is nuts. So you got to really be careful here. Oh, well, we can put this in. Great. Sea temperature. So I'll show you the warm water here, all right? So here's what's, here you go. Your water temperature is still close to 80 where the storm is. So that's still enough to fuel the storm. And you know what we'll do? We'll go to earthandoldskool.net because they have a better tool for that. And we'll go look at earthandoldskool.net. And ocean, sea surface temperature anomaly. All right. Yep. Still well above normal off the coast. Wow, look at that. That water is on fire. So here you go. Off the East Coast you have, it's 5 degrees Celsius warmer than it's supposed to be, which means it's 9 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it's supposed to be. Even though our air temperatures are below normal, you got to remember, when it comes to global warming and climate change, it affects the whole globe. And while we're in the cold air, most other areas are above normal. All right. Speaking of above normal, now we're going to go to some other areas of the world. So let's talk about what's been going on in Australia. They've had these crazy fires. So let's see. I think I can get it over here. All right, it's not this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's on this. All right, it's not on this one yet. Let's go to Australia here. They've been having these huge fires on the East Coast. Look at these fires. Some of the worst fires, bushfires, brush fires that they've ever had in Australia. They got states of emergency going on around Sydney. Look at how thick that smoke is. Look at how thick that smoke is. Let me get this in a little more. Well, it doesn't want to go in. But here you go, November 14th. These fires have been going for days. November 14th, November 13th, November 12th, November 11th. So there's craziness going on. November 10th. These fires have been burning for days. This is like huge. Look at these smoke plumes here. Look at this. This is November 7th. So you have just chaos going on across the world, you know, and you have to look at the big picture. And the other thing that we got to talk about, Venice. Venice is underwater. Record flooding, 70% underwater. Look at this flooding here that you see here in Venice. Historic flooding, state of emergency, worst floods they've ever had. This is tidal flooding, because sea levels are rising. They've had a lot of rain. It's really a disaster for Venice, and Venice is a city that we're going to see disappear. It's going to be disappearing in the next 10 years. It's not going to be around. So if you want to see Venice, you better get there soon. So we're going to lastly talk about this wild ride in October. The Arctic sea ice extent. We did set a record this year for minimum sea ice extent. It says right here, third lowest in the satellite record at the beginning of October to the lowest on record starting October 13th through October 30th. So we set a new Arctic sea ice minimum this year. It looks like I was right after all. And it's still below normal, the sea ice extent. Here is what it looks like. Here is the map. We are still below normal on sea ice extent, well below normal. And here is another look at it here. So you can see, look at that. Minimum right there. Here you go. So we have all this craziness and chaos going on across the globe, and it's all because of the changing climate we are in. And, you know, the media doesn't want you to know about it, but obviously somebody has to talk about it because we're in a serious situation. And you know, we've reached the point where even if we stop driving, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't help. We have to now figure out a way to actually cool the planet down beyond just reducing carbon emissions. We've reached past the tipping point already. So with that, grim news, I'm sorry to say that. That does wrap up this weather update. I'll keep you posted on this storm. The storm is going to be another mega storm off the East Coast. Thank God it stays offshore. Let's hope it continues to stay offshore because this thing is sort of reminding me just a little bit of Sandy, at least the way it looks on the models, even though the track is different. So with that, that wraps up this weather update. Take care and thank you for watching.